Good morning everyone and welcome to your channel for another day. In today's video, we are going to talk about Wi-Fi networks. So if you want to shield your network and prevent someone from hacking your Wi-Fi, this is your video. You have to keep in mind that whenever our Wi-Fi is stolen, not only are they stealing our internet access, but someone we don't know is breaking into our local network. And sharing Wi-Fi with a stranger is very, very dangerous, as they can steal information or even infect our computer. As usual in this channel, I am going to give you a series of guidelines to follow to shield your Wi-Fi. These points range from simple to more complicated, but I can tell you that if you follow them all to the letter, it is practically impossible for your network to be hacked. Usually, at the end of the list, I add an extra point that is usually the most important, so stay until the end of the video. The first tip I'm going to give you is the simplest of all, and that is to turn off Wi-Fi if you're not really using it. There are a lot of people who don't know that their router can be used without Wi-Fi, so if you only have wired internet access, turn Wi-Fi off to avoid problems. The second tip I'm going to give you, you've probably already heard it many times, but I'm going to explain why it's so important that you change your router password. You may not know that most of your Wi-Fi passwords are associated with your name, meaning that the network name is used to generate the password. And I have to tell you that your network name is not unique in the world. So with a simple Google search, you can access a database that lists the network name and what is the default password assigned. So if you don't change it, it's easy to get your password hacked. The third tip is related to your router and is to look at what type of encryption it uses, because there are many older routers that use WEP encryption, which has been known for years that almost anyone can break this encryption. If this is your case, switch to a new router that uses WPA. This way you make it a little more difficult for anyone who wants to hack you. The fourth tip has to do precisely with this, with the encryption used by your router. I just told you that the best you can use is WPA2, but like everything in this life, it can be hacked. Another thing is, whether it is easier or less easy, but that it can be done. Relatively recently, a vulnerability was discovered in the WPA2 encryption that has to do with the WPS function of your router. So very quickly, I will explain that WPS is used by your router to synchronize devices without having to type the password. So if you don't use this WPS a lot, check if your router is using it, and if you don't use it, disable it. The fifth tip I will give you is to hide your SSID. But Borja, what is this SSID? You speak very complicated, please explain it to us. Well, the SSID is nothing more than your network name. There are many people who do not know that your network can be hidden. So when you go to a device to connect via Wi-Fi, it shows you a number of networks that he can see, but usually we also have the option to write the name of the network we want to connect, plus the password, of course. So if you go into your router and investigate the option, you will see a place where you can hide your SSID. This way, virtually no one will be able to see your Wi-Fi network. So it will be a little bit more difficult for them to bother hacking you. At this point in the video, I'm going to give you an extra trick for those of you who have stuck it out this far in the video. The sixth tip is to enable MAC blocking on your router. So what is this MAC blocking thing? Is it very complicated? How does it work? You simply have to know that every device that connects to the internet has a MAC, and that MAC is unique in the world. It is simply an identification code for that device, and by going into the configuration of our router, we can tell it which MACs we want to be able to connect through that router, or which ones we don't want to connect. So all we have to do is find out which MACs our device has, and add it to the list of MACs enabled to connect to the internet. If you want to find out what the MAC of your device is, you just have to do an easy Google search asking, "Hey, how can I find out my MAC?" And there will be millions of websites explaining how to find out the MAC of your laptop or cell phone. The strength of this technique is that only the people you want will be able to connect to the internet from your router. So if someone finds out your password, they will not be able to connect because their MAC will not be enabled in your router. And this is the end of today's video. I hope you have learned a little more about online security. If you liked the video, you can give me a like, comment, or subscribe to the channel. If you like computer security, you can visit my channel because I have many videos talking about it. I'm Borja Galisteo, and I upload a video more or less every week. See you in the next video. Ciao.